It's round 4 of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship, and after 3 rounds in the South Island, we arrive in Palmerston North for the Brian Green Properties Daybreaker Rally. Originally held in 1983, the Daybreaker Rally over time became one of New Zealand's most iconic gravel-based competition rally events. It regularly ran as a round of the National Rally Championship. In 2023, the event returned to the New Zealand Rally Championship and was won by Hayden Paddon. It's unique in that it runs not only in Palmerston North City, in the Manawatu district, but also it travels north to Taihape in the Rangitikei district. The 2024 edition will start in Palmerston North with a stage at the Central Energy Trust Arena, where drivers will face off head-to-head in the Harcourt's AFC Motorcycles Super Special. On Saturday, the rally stages begin at 5 a.m. in the dark with 2 stages near Taihape. The 2 more stages as the dawn breaks, including the famous Ridge Road North before a service in Taihape. The rally then heads back to Fielding with the Peepo Day and Macbeth stages, which are repeated before the final 30-kilometre test over Ridge Road, which leads the cars back to Palmerston North. In the NZRC Class 1 battle, Robbie Stokes has a narrow lead over Ben Hunt, with Hayden Paddon still back in 4th, despite winning round 2 and round 3. But the Hyundai Rally team have added to the challenge this weekend by bringing in Australian driver Brendan Reeves to drive the AP4 i20, while Hayden Paddon drives his WRC2 Hyundai. Friday night at Palmerston North Speedway was the setting for the rally start, a simple format which featured a mix of speedway clay track and tarmac. I'm joined by Blair Bartels. How will this plan out, BB?
Well, it's not a stage where you can win the rally, Budgie, but you certainly can lose it. Where they're turning off the speedway track and onto the tarmac is incredibly narrow, and those concrete walls are designed to keep stock cars in check.
No surprise that Hayden Paddon grabbed the lead. With plenty of experience in this type of event in the WRC and ERC, teammate Reeves was 3 seconds behind as they crossed the line.
5 left opens, medium, move left. Repeat, move left, finish.
Championship leader Robbie Stokes went head-to-head with Ben Hunt.
Narrow right, off track.
And that's a new voice again for Robbie Stokes. Ellie Mackay joining him in the car. Co-driver number 3 for the season. Ellie's got a lot of experience, but it must be a little bit unsettling for Robbie.
Onto track. Keep to the right, keep to the right.
And what you're seeing here is the championship leaders going at it. 1 point between them, and there's nothing between them on this stage either.
Emma Gilmore faced off with the talented Zeal Jones.
And here's a graphic example of just how tight these sections off the speedway track are. It's very easy to get uncoordinated and sort of lose your way.
Yeah, that's right, use the handbrake.
And for young Zeal, he's been super impressive in the South Island, but last year he was ultra impressive on the twistier North Island roads, so we think there's a bit more to come from him at this one.
Nelson Law from Vanuatu, just a second back from Gilmore.
And he's improved every time we've seen him, so it'll be interesting to see what he produces during the day.
Stuart Reid, 1.7 back from him.
Outside. Turn right.
And Pierre-Henri Brunet, the final Cat 1 starter, 5 seconds back. In the Rally Challenge class, Gavin Feast took the lead of the STI Subaru, just under a second ahead of Andrew Graves.
And that's a great start for Gavin. With Andrew Graves, he's a local legend down south. People have always asked, how will he go in the north? We'll find out.
James McDonald had gone full retro on his Impreza with a lookalike of Greg Graham's shell car of the 1990s. McDonald was ahead of another Subaru of Phil Macquarie, with Caleb McDonald just 0.4 of a second back from him. But driver of the stage would have to be Jared Parker, who put his 2-wheel drive Rally Challenge car ahead of Julian Longley and Jay Pittams in their Subarus.
went the wrong way. Right.
All good.
Yes, Jack Stokes going head-to-head with Dylan Thompson, and it was Stokes who would strike first, taking the win by 2.6 seconds over Thompson. Bryn Jones was head-to-head with Tim Mackesy,
And it's great to see that Tim's finally got his new Rally 4 car the same as Bryn Jones and Dylan Thompson. So confirming Hayden Paddon starting off as you'd expect, 3 seconds faster than Brendan Reeves, and then another 3 back to Ben Hunt, Robbie Stokes, all very close between Zeal Jones and Emma Gilmore, and a stunning performance by Nelson Law. Coming up, a quick power nap for the teams before a 4 a.m. start as the Daybreaker returns.
It's 5 a.m. as Hayden Paddon arrives at the start of Special Stage 2 in the dark near the town of Martin. It's a short stage to start the day, just 7.3 kilometres, but anything can happen on a night stage, so everyone will have to be fully awake.
Fire-minus team glide to the left opens, okay, right.
And already you see just how tricky it is to get those reference points, to get everything flowing in the dark.
Okay, right, 50.
Paddon sets the stage time at 4 minutes 48.5. Brendan Reeves was second fastest on stage 1. He starts second on the road.
And it's great to have Brendo back in New Zealand. His presence, though, it's really going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons in that championship battle.
Reeves nearly 30 seconds behind Paddon, so work to do for him. Ben Hunt starting third, and look at how good his lights are.
He's working with his sponsor, Heller. That's a brand new product, and it really is taking away a lot of the darkness. Those lights are phenomenal.
Long 5 right plus 60. 7 left minus into keep in 5 right minus. Keep in 4 left plus.
Hunt's time 5 minutes 10.6, so slower than Paddon. But disaster for championship leader Robbie Stokes. Just 100 metres into the stage, the car cuts out.
Right, turn lights off. Is the bloody switch doing something? What switch? There's a switch somewhere.
Had a bit of car troubles off the start line, and car died about 100 metres in, so yeah, did the rest of the stage with no anti-lag and stuff.
Emma Gilmore third fastest on the stage and close to 0.1 seconds behind Brendan Reeves.
And Emma's another one with a new voice to listen to this weekend. Malcolm Reed on the notes. He's taking his holidays from the M Sport Ford World Rally team to come here and do this rally.
It was good fun. Yeah, freaking cool. Good fun.
But facing tough competition from Zeal Jones in the Skoda, the 19-year-old junior driver was only 1.6 seconds back in fifth. Australian driver Stuart Reid, sixth fastest on the stage, now moving up to sixth overall.
And this is one of the most diverse age group teams, with Stewie currently leading the Gold Card Cup, while Bella is just 16 years old.
Left entry and 6 right, 30.
Nelson Law and Pierre-Henri Brunet don't have much experience of night rallying as they come from Vanuatu, Brunet having the advantage of experienced Kiwi co-driver Mel Peden to help with the challenge. Stage 3, Turakina Valley, still run in the dark. While Paddon continued to lead, Stokes' woes only got worse.
What the going on with this car? Settle down, Robbie. Brakes. Short 5 left on.
Canterbury driver had to stop 4 times to reset the car's electronics in the stage, losing him over 20 minutes and potentially any hope of an NZRC title.
Nips. The light's purple again. Yeah.
Stokes also became an issue for the following cars as they caught him. For Stuart Reid, it was an off-road excursion to avoid the stranded Ford.
It's all right.
So after the 2 dark stages, Hayden Paddon with a commanding lead of over a minute. Ben Hunt solid in second though, some 24 seconds up the road from Emma Gilmore, who's got her hands full with Zeal Jones, and Brendan Reeves hard behind.
The NZRC two-wheel drive class, all Fiesta R2 or Rally 4 cars at this event. Jack Stokes on the left had been fastest on stage 1, but championship leader Dylan Thompson on the right is a lot more experienced and has the extra power and torque of the R4 engine.
And this is a great comparison right through to the end of the stage. You can see Dylan just making little increments of time. It's also the first time for Jack on these North Island stages, and they are that bit twistier.
So Dylan, did you have your coffee this morning? How was the short, sharp start to the day?
You know, it was good. I think it's really slippery either that or I'm struggling a wee bit. But no, we were struggling with a bit of oversteer and mid-corner understeer, but the car's here and we made it through, so that's a good start.
Nice.
Pretty tricky actually. Yeah, cold times at the start was really slippery, but once they warmed up it wasn't too bad, so yeah. No, good fun though.
By stage 3, Bryn Jones and his R4 had moved to second in class, trailing Thompson by just 4.6 seconds.
And that's encouraging for Bryn. He's had a bit of a mid-season reset. He's had a disastrous start to the year. So it's great to see him fighting for the lead.
While in fourth, Tim Mackesy just happy to be in this new car.
Yeah, the start was pretty slippery, and then too, once the tyres warmed up a little bit, got a bit better, but then trying to get your confidence back after the start. So, but no, it's fun.
So confirming we're shaping up for a huge battle with Dylan Thompson just 4.6 seconds up the road from Bryn Jones, while Jack Stokes and Tim Mackesy are right in that fight.
Unfortunately, sheep on the road caused stage 4 to be cancelled for safety reasons, so the first daylight stage was special stage 5, Ridge Road North. Stage record from 2023 in the dry was 8 minutes 35.1. Today's wet conditions, Paddon crossed the line in 8 minutes 22.9.
And of course in 2024 we've got the MRF control tyre for the first time. It's a great sign for the tyre that he's that much over the record. We'll see how everyone else copes with these tricky conditions.
6 right opens long, time slow short, 3+.
Ben Hunt will know that his championship rival Robbie Stokes has dropped back, so a great chance here to take the NZRC lead.
And not only that, there was question marks around where Brendan Reeves would fit into the field and if he would interfere in the championship battle. Ben Hunt's already pulled close to 40 seconds out of him. This could be a championship drive.
Keeping along 4 left, 30. 5 right plus, opens and tightens to 4.
Hunt is 40 seconds slower, but will keep second place going into the service at Taihape. Brendan Reeves is registered in NZRC, so he can take away points from Paddon's rivals. But his speed is no match for the Kiwis, just 5th fastest on the stage.
And one of the things that's really hampering Brendo is a bit of motion sickness. It's not something we normally associate with drivers in rallying.
Emma Gilmore's still in a close fight with Zeal Jones.
Crest, 4 left minus. 6 right.
Emma's stage time 9 minutes 9.4, so Zeal will have to be 6 seconds faster to move past Gilmore to third.
Double caution, 1 left narrow.
Oh, and he stalls at the hairpin.
It looks like he's just grabbed that bank on the outside. It's just straightened the car up, and then he's managed to stall.
Seven left minus, hug. 7 right over, red.
Well, it's down to the finish. Time 9 minutes 3.3. That's second fastest. Jones moves into third by just 1 second.
50.
Robbie Stokes struggling on, knowing that service is just 15 minutes away at Taihape. But unfortunately, the car could not be easily fixed and he retired after the service. Conditions getting worse as low cloud covered the stage for the final 3 competitors in Class 1. Stuart Reid making the best of it in his Mirage, holding off Vanuatu driver Nelson Law and his ex-Hawkswood Mazda AP4.
And it's great to see Stewie building on the confidence that he built through the South Island rounds, despite these really tricky and challenging conditions.
SR Automotive Mitsubishi Mirage AP4. It's got a little bit of your MRF sign, I think, there.
Law had moved past Reid on stage 3, but here he would finish 24 seconds behind.
This corner's been a feature of the Daybreaker Rally for years and years and years. It's tricky, and Nelson's added his name to the list of people to stall.
Brunet just 4 seconds slower than Law on the stage. Despite the conditions, he was more comfortable in the daylight.
But you can see there a lot of understeer. We saw him on the handbrake earlier in the shot. He's obviously struggling for front grip at the end of the stage.
Dylan Thompson held the 2-wheel drive stage record here, 9 minutes 17.5, but the conditions did not suit the front-wheel drive cars, especially at the tricky hairpin.
And there's a graphic example of the traction deficit that the 2-wheel drive cars have. Unfortunately, in these wet conditions on these twisty roads, it's going to be a long day.
But Thompson had extended his lead over Bryn Jones.
And this is Dylan's experience coming to the fore. He's had another 5 seasons at least over Bryn, and Bryn's really been pushing him hard this morning.
Jack Stokes held third here in the R2 Fiesta, but coming under pressure from Tim Mackesy.
And you've got to remember that this car lacks 10 years of development as well as the turbo that we talk about. Jack's still pushing on really hard. And while we've seen so much of the Stokes family name across the NZRC, it's so easy to forget that Jack is a rookie, which really amplifies just how impressive these performances he's been putting up are.
Mackesy actually a couple of seconds faster than Stokes on the stage as he comes to grips with the new car.
And you can expect that Tim will get faster and faster as the season goes on and he gets used to this new car. To be fair, probably the worst conditions you could ask for to learn a car. So as the teams get the chance to tuck into a bit of brekkie, Hayden Patton well out in front now over Ben Hunt. But look at Zeal Jones up into third, but just 1 second ahead of Emma Gilmore. That's a close battle, and Brendan Reeves is lurking. And in the NZRC 2-wheel drive class, it's Dylan Thompson now just starting to eke out that lead over Bryn Jones, but Jack Stokes and Tim Mackesy are still fighting hard.
Alongside the NZRC 2-wheel drive class, there's the open 2-wheel drive class. The Honda Jazz, Dave Strong leading through the morning stages.
And with that big V6 mid-mounted in the rear, the high horsepower rear-wheel drive short wheelbase, make no mistake, this is the most difficult car in the New Zealand Rally Championship to run in these conditions.
The Toyota 86 of Willie Hawes lost brakes in stage 1. Hawes was nursing it through the stages to get to the service park at Taihape, where he'd replace a brake caliper. Murray Percival held second at stage 5, but an off-road excursion on stage 6 would see him retire.
And with him sitting second in the class, unfortunately, his best result to date would slip away.
Strong continued to lead the class and would end the day 17th outright. Now closes to within 30 points of the class lead with 2 rounds remaining. After the service at Taihape, Hawes was able to regain some pace, just missing out on a power stage class victory here by under a second. But keeping his car going to the end, Hawes scored enough points to keep his class lead, however. With just 2 competitors in the historic challenge, a finish would mean a good points haul. The Escort BDA of Paul Fraser, predictably a lot faster than the Little Lancer, but in the end he would finish 19th outright, with the Cameron's 20th of the 21 NZRC finishes on the event.
And the theme of this event was bringing back the retro, and there's not much more retro than a Massport Escort lookalike.
Next up, the Rally Challenge is on, but there's heartbreak for a top contender. The 2024 Daybreaker Rally theme was retro. Many drivers sporting dodgy 90s moustaches and clothing, So we thought we'd take you back 30 years to the shot that launched the NZRC career, the videographer PT Peter Tomlinson. PT is still an integral part of the NZRC TV team in 2024, planning the stage coverage and the TV logistics for us.
And that was two-time national champion Brian Stokes getting it all wrong.
10 drivers that entered the Rally Challenge, 8 in four-wheel drive and 2 in two-wheel drive. On Friday's Stage 1, Toyota driver Jared Parker put in a stunning performance, fastest outright two-wheel drive and the 6th fastest in the challenge, beating some powerful Mitsubishi and Subaru four-wheel drives. But a cracked gearbox would see him retire at the end of Stage 2.
Yeah, nice.
So we put on a show there.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah.
And then opens into a long 4 left plus.
Andrew Graves led the challenge in the morning with Caleb McDonald holding second.
And if Jared Parker was impressive at the Speedway, Caleb's been impressive all season. Just his second season in the four-wheel drive car and he's right up there.
Titans. 60. Turn 5 left minus past.
Probably a bit more loose gravel in the first K or two than I was expecting. It was a bit slippery. And yeah, just getting a feel for this tight, twisty stuff and sort of what gear you should be in. It's a bit more narrow too, so yeah, just getting a feel for it, and we got through all right, so happy as.
By Stage 5, Graves had extended that lead to 43 seconds despite having no working handbrake and overshooting here at the hairpin. McDonald conceding 40 seconds on Graves. Behind the two Mitsubishis came the Subaru Challenge, led by James McDonald.
And James has really made himself a contender in this Rally Challenge class. He's in the H6 Subaru. They're more of a cost-effective way to get in to four-wheel drive rallying rather than an outright contender. But he's making it an outright contender.
Speaking of retro, Jay Pittham's going down the Pro Drive route with his colour scheme, just 7 seconds behind in 4th.
And of course it's that iconic look and sound of the Subaru Impreza. And he's pushing it hard, just like they used to back in the day.
Gavin Feast's Subaru was at the other end of the age scale. Feast had held 5th through the morning, but retired on Stage 6 with a sensor issue that caused the car to run out of fuel. Stage 6 also saw the end of Amy Keeley in the H6 Subaru with brake issues.
And it's a shame for Amy. She's been a pillar of consistency across the opening 2 rounds of the championship. Unfortunately, though, no brakes on this rally equals no fun.
That left Julian Longley and Phil Macquarie scrapping over the final position in the top 5.
And it's 2 very different approaches to rallying. Phil has joined the championship for the North Island rounds where he's based, whereas for Julian, he's travelling from Vanuatu to rally in New Zealand.
And the only car left in the challenge two-wheel drive, Pat Norris, also struggling with issues in the Yaris, the engine refusing to rev past 3,000 RPM, but he would drive to the finish to be rewarded with the points.
So with 4 stages left to run, it's Andrew Graves with a solid lead over Caleb McDonald, then James McDonald in a bit of a battle there with Jay Pittham's, Julian Longley and Phil Macquarie, who suffered a puncture.
Ready for the afternoon? Just consolidate and just do what we're doing and just not try and put it off the road because it's quite slippery out there, so yeah. It's been a good challenge, but we were expecting it was going to be an adventure. The roads are pretty wet and greasy in places, and yeah, we're having a wee bit of trouble with the car. We've got a bit of a misfire and got an anti-lag at the moment, so in some of that tight stuff I'm sort of bogging down a bit and had a couple of little scares where I wanted power and I didn't quite have it, so we're battling on. I think we're doing okay. We're enjoying it. That Peeper Day stage that we just did was actually quite fun, so had a nice rhythm to it, so looking forward to going back through again.
Just 3 stages remaining for the Rally Challenge, including the power stage. Andrew Graves looked to have an unassailable lead in Stage 8 and cemented that further by leading the class in the power stage. Caleb McDonald had pulled out a 1 minute 40 lead over James McDonald. He was second on the power stage and looked to be heading to a solid third place in the challenge points. But diff failure on the last stage saw him unable to reach the finish in Palmerston North, despite finishing the final stage in third place. So James McDonald would inherit a solid second place in the challenge. He takes 3 points from the power stage here, and that would move him to second in the challenge points. Jay Pittham's finishing fourth in the Subaru.
And unfortunately, he broke a gear linkage that took the sting out of that battle with James McDonald. He was stuck in third gear for the last 3 stages.
The top 5 finish for Julian Longley. Good weekend for the driver who comes from Vanuatu to compete on the iconic New Zealand roads. Phil Macquarie would be the final finisher in the 4-wheel drive class after a puncture in stage 6 cost him dearly. While Pat Norris nursing his little Toyota Yaris home for the final place.
So a tough old day in the Rally Challenge with just 6 finishes, but Andrew Gray's very much on top ahead of James McDonald. Jay Pittham's surviving for third ahead of Julian Longley and Phil Macquarie, while Pat Norris was in 6th and the top 2-wheel drive finisher.
The rally leaders arrived at the 34-kilometre Peep O'Day stage as conditions deteriorated. Padden using all his experience to take the Rally 2 Hyundai to an unassailable lead here. He'd take 1 minute 40 out of Ben Hunt and stretch his overall lead to 3 minutes 27 seconds. But Hunt was thinking about his championship and driving accordingly.
For Ben, there's very little to be gained by chasing Hayden and a lot of risk involved. He knows second is enough for him to take the championship at the end of the year.
Long 5 right, bridge. Long 5 left, 10, keeping 2 left, in junction, gravel. Keeping 6 right into 6 left, 50. Flat 8 right, 200. Keeping a long 5 right, 150.
Zeal Jones in third and now looking to consolidate his slim lead over Emma Gilmore.
And he cannot afford to back off. This has been a fantastic performance by Zeal so far, and he's really got to push to make sure that he can secure his first podium finish.
95 plus into 4 left, 180. Hump there, 6 right over small crest, don't. Hump there, 4 right, 6 right over small crest, don't. 180. 6 left at minus, here, exit.
Emma Gilmore losing 30 seconds to Jones here, but only a second slower in the next stage before service.
And it's great to see Emma really pushing on here. This seems to be a new level of confidence in the car that we have not seen just yet. Obviously helped by the new co-driver, Malcolm Reid.
6 right over bump, 90. Don't, 5 right, 40. 6 left, opens, tightens, 4 at pole. 7 right, double, fast, 60.
And Brendan Reeves in the AP4 Hyundai starting to close up the gap to Gilmore as he came to terms with the car after a difficult morning.
And while Zeal and Emma are battling away, they need to keep an eye over Brendo. New car, new tyre, new co-driver. He's only going to get faster as the day goes on.
But a disappointed Robbie Stokes left on the side of the road with his championship hopes dashed.
Yeah, so the car was running fine last night and around the Super Special, and then this morning just got around the first literally the first corner, and car just cut out, and it's been like that ever since. So yeah, hopefully we can find out what it is, but it's definitely electrically related or something like that.
So with a championship blow for Robbie Stokes, Hayden Padden's doing what he needs to do. He's well and truly out front. Ben Hunt ticking the boxes too in second. Look at that battle though. Zeal Jones starting to move away from Emma Gilmore. Brendan Reeves is closing in on Emma. Stewie Reid looking solid in 6th, and then Pierre Brunet and Nelson Law.
Yeah, so far so good. It feels strange. It's 11 o'clock in the morning and we've done most of the stages. Obviously, we've still got 2 long ones to go, but yeah, so far so good. Car's feeling amazing. It's working. Obviously, the conditions are pretty tricky and pretty slippery, but we've got a good road position, so just enjoying it while we can, and obviously expecting it to be a bit tougher on the repeat stages.
I think the biggest thing for everyone is, we've just come from the South Island, and it's, although we've done some big stages like that, that's fast and not as hard on the body, so they're very technical and a lot of inputs and a lot of braking, and yeah, it is. I feel like I've done 2 days at Otago already.
Yeah, no, it's a good start, but nothing that we haven't expected. We've worked really hard over the off-season, especially the team. They've put mega hours into the car, and myself as well, looking over a lot of footage, so I'm really proud of that result so far, but there's still a long way to go. We've got 3 more proper stages in the Super Special, so there's no time to think about that, and just keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully it'll come at the end.
Yeah, really enjoyable today. We made quite a lot of changes to the car's setup over the mid-season break there, and yeah, feeling a lot more comfortable. It's working really well with Malcolm and I as well, and yeah, it's enjoyable. I think these cars are really well suited to the twisty roads, so yeah, having fun. Probably overdrove a little bit in the long stage. Probably lost a bit too much time there, but it's a learning curve, and yeah, happy to be here.
We're probably further down the battle than we want to be, but our times are slowly progressing, which is good. I was felt a little bit sick this morning, motion sickness, and then now the sun's come up and feeling a bit better, but we've just got to get set up working for me, and I think I'm sitting so far back in the car, I'm not used to it feeling so sideways, so I'm probably driving a little bit too understeery on the entries. Need to be a bit more committed on the way in, but the second pass over these stages will be a little bit harder as well, so got to keep that in mind.
3 more stages, including the power stage, before the finish in Palmerston North. A repeat of the 37-kilometre Peepo Day stage first up, and Patton again blitzing the opposition here, before going on to take the power stage and those crucial maximum points. What a stunning piece of road this is, as Ben Hunt showcases his skills.
Real concern with a second pass on a wet day is just how much that road deteriorates, how much mud comes up. At this stage, the road's looking not too bad.
Small crest, 80. Short 7 left, plus into keep in 5 right.
Zeal Jones just 55 seconds back from Hunt, with Gilmore a similar distance back and forth.
And you can see here how wide and inviting that road is. Zeal is using all of it.
5 left.
But as we go on board with Emma here, you can see as we get further into the stage, it just gets narrower and tighter and twistier.
3 right. 6 left. 4 right plus. 6 left right. 4 left minus. Into 3 right.
Brendan Reeves making the most of the conditions and taking a further 5 seconds out of Emma Gilmore's time here.
7 left 30, 5 right wide medium 100.
Oh, and he said he needed to get more aggressive on corner entry, but wow, that was nearly disaster for Brendan Reeves.
Straight brow 40.
But a disappointing end to the day for Stuart Reid. The Australian had been progressing well when suddenly the engine in the Mirage let go.
Oh, and it's never good when the smoke's on the outside.
Engine. What? No warning lights came on. Oh, when they get out.
The power stage by Central ITM was a repeat of the 7.8 kilometre long Macbeth stage. For Ben Hunt, every point he can get sees him extend his championship lead.
And he'll absolutely be looking to be as close on the heels of Hayden as he can be. He knows those bonus points are crucial for the championship.
But Zeal Jones had other ideas and would push Hunt to try and get those 4 points.
Go, baby, go.
Zeal just beats Ben by 1.8 seconds. Let's hope the NZRC Championship doesn't come down to 1 point. Brendan Reeves was 4th fastest and 2 points for him, just 0.8 of a second behind Hunt.
30.
Gilmore 5th fastest, but now Reeves was closing in on her 4th place. The two drivers separated by just 8 seconds.
3 left. 6 right bridge. 70 gravel. Short 5 left opens fast. 7 long. Crest middle. 40. Crest middle.
And it was close between the two Vanuatu drivers for the final positions. Law posting a 6 minutes 2.4. Brunei really getting to grips with these New Zealand conditions.
And they are very different. A lot of rallying in Vanuatu is farm tracks and car parks.
The Ford Fiestas, which have dominated two-wheel drive rallies in the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship, started with the Fiesta ST, then the R2, and now the Rally 4 like this one of Dylan Thompson. Turbocharged 999cc 3-cylinders Ford EcoBoost engine delivers an incredible 210 horsepower at 6,500 RPM. The new Serie 5-speed sequential gearbox with plated limited slip differential is a step up from the previous model, and there are 3 possible setup of diff ramps for the driver to use depending on conditions. Jack Stokes back in the R2 model, which debuted in 2012. The engine 1.6 ZTEC 16-valve, 4 cylinders in line, variable cam timing. Power is 165 HP through a 5-speed sequential gearbox developed by Sedev with plated limited slip differential and uprated drive shafts. Both cars weigh 1030 kgs, so let's see how that difference equates on the stages.
And you can see on the gear displays, Dylan Thompson is upper gear everywhere. That's a characteristic of the turbo engine. You tend to have a lot more torque and you can use it from lower down in the rev range. Whereas the little R2 car, you've really got to rev it. All the power is right at the top end of the rev range.
By the time the cars reached the central ITM power stage, Thompson had a commanding lead. His winning time on the stage, 6 minutes 4.7, breaking the record set in 2023. Jack Stokes next through. Would it be 4 points or 3 at the end of the stage? His time, 6 minutes 18.1. Bryn Jones has a DNF already this season, so really fighting hard to get back on par with Stokes in the points battle.
Titans long 5 hold 50.
His time, 6:19 flat, just 0.9 of a second slower. Tim Mackesy had made real progress through the day as he got to grips with his new Rally 4 Fiesta.
We got a few issues. We cracked a couple of rotors first thing in the morning, so we changed them, and now we've got a cracked manifold, so we're going to change that at service. But these are all the things we were told about, so we're just working our way through them, and then hopefully we'll be all right.
With the Super Stage in Palmerston North cancelled due to the weather, Stage 10 would be the final test at 31 Ks. The Ridge Road stage is a tough end to the event. Dylan Thompson scored another win in the NZRC two-wheel drive class to extend his points lead over Jack Stokes to 30. Bryn Jones taking second in class, his best result of the 2024 season, with Stokes holding on to third, despite a late scare when he stopped to change a wheel, only to discover it was still inflated but the wheel full of mud. Tim Mackesy very happy with his new car, getting through the tough conditions. And after conceding 6th place earlier in the afternoon, Nelson Moore had been driving his best to catch Vanuatu teammate Pierre-Henri Brunet. But the Fiesta Proto was proving to be a good car in these conditions, Brunet being guided by Kiwi co-driver Mal Peden, who spent time with Emma Gilmore and Hayden Padden in recent years. In the end, Brunet taking 6th by just under a minute. Brendan Reeves obviously feeling more comfortable with the AP4 Hyundai in the afternoon. He closed within 8 seconds behind Gilmore at the start of the stage, but over 30 Ks, that was a very narrow margin. This was the 3rd stage since the tyre change at Manfield's service. Even at the start, you can see that Emma is struggling for grip in the wet conditions.
And a 2 right plus opens 4. 3 left links, 2 left plus.
In the end, she would drop 48 seconds to Reeves and concede 4th place to the Aussie. Zeal Jones on his way to his first NZRC podium.
And it's a well-deserved result from an up-and-coming young driver, one who's been recognised to take part in the 4th generation of the Toyota Gazoo Racing WRC Challenge program. It's been a flawless performance, an almost flawless performance from the youngster.
4 right, then 5 right. 5 left minus.
A very tactful drive today by Ben Hunt, 2nd place and now the leader of the championship.
And at the end of a challenging day's rallying, Ben has really shown today that he's got what it takes to take this championship fight to Hayden Paddon. If he can continue to finish 2nd, he'll have points in hand at the end of the season.
6 left plus times to keep in 5. Into 5 right. 30. 7 left minus times to 5 minus 120. Keep it.
But today had been about Hayden Paddon, just superb on these stages, winning every stage and taking 2-stage records. But it was also a day for co-driver Jared Hudson, as they both worked together to try to win the title despite missing round 1.
And if they can pull that off, Jared will be the youngest New Zealand co-driving champion, outdoing Sarah Mason by a whole 5 days. So confirming it's Hayden Paddon taking a dominant victory over Ben Hunt. Zeal Jones with a standout 3rd place ahead of Brendan Reeves, who just nabbed Emma Gilmore. Pierre Brunet with a solid 6th ahead of Nelson Law, who lost time with a puncture. In the NZRC 2-wheel drives, it's Dylan Thompson once again stamping his dominance on the class, ahead of Bryn Jones, then Jack Stokes and Tim Mackesy. In the open 2-wheel drives, it was Dave Strong taking the win over Willie Hawes, while Paul Fraser took out the historic class over Mike Cameron. And with 2 rounds remaining, Ben Hunt holds an 18-point lead over Hayden Paddon. Robbie Stokes has dropped to 3rd, just 2 points ahead of Zeal Jones. That's going to be a big battle moving forward, with Emma Gilmore not far behind.
Car was working really well, and obviously the stages are really nice and flowing, suit the Rally 2 car a lot better. So just doing our thing in the middle of the road, no risks, but still driving to enjoy it. I don't enjoy driving slowly, so of course we push on at a comfortable pace. So yeah, really good day. Team's done an amazing job. 2 cars at the finish with no problems. So it's a huge credit to Mike and the team, and obviously bring on the next rally.
So twisty and technical down here, and just that many brake, appliances, and yeah, she was getting pretty sore at the end, but good to come away with it. Hayden's amazing, the speed that he carries, out of control. And awesome to have Zeal and a Skoda on the podium. Awesome driving all day by him. It was epic to see.
It's really a true credit to my team for all the work and effort that they put in over the middle of the season to recondition the engine and the whole car, and I think it really paid off today, and it showed with our results and times. And
Round 4 will be in Tauranga for the Battery Town Rally Bay of Plenty on October 5. We'll see you then.